Stance phase. First, begin by gripping the club. For this project's purpose, we use a 10-finger grip, meaning all 10 fingers touch the club. Walk up to the ball. Place the club head 1 inch behind the ball with the middle of the ball in line with the middle of your club. Take a step back from the ball, all while keeping your club head in the same position. You should be roughly 1.5 feet from the ball, but this depends on the club and arm length. Your elbows should be fully extended. Move your feet to shoulder width apart with the ball in the middle of your stance. Slightly bend your knees. Slightly bend your head forward so that you are looking down at the ball. You should have a slight bend in the waist and your back should be straight.
Go.
Head and neck are in slight flexion. Shoulder girdle, elevation and upward rotation. Shoulder joint, slight flexion. Elbow are extended. Forearm, right is supinated and left is pronated. Fingers are flexed around the club. Trunk, slight flexion. Hip, abducted, shoulder width apart. Knees, slightly flexed. Ankle and foot, subtalar neutral. Backswing phase. From the stance position, slowly bring your club backwards in an arc-like motion, like attempting to touch the club head to your opposite shoulder. Bring the club back so that your front arm is parallel with the ground. During this phase, your grip should remain the same and your shoulders should rotate with your club naturally. The heel of your front foot should come off the ground slightly. Your neck should remain in the same position as in the stance. Keep your trunk flexed, do not raise up. At this point, all of your weight should be on your back foot. Head and neck, slight flexion. Shoulder joint, right, slight abduction of 15 degrees, left, horizontal adduction. Shoulder girdle, right, upward rotation, external rotation, left, protraction, slight internal rotation. Elbow, right, flexed, left is at 15 degrees flexion. Forearm, right, supinated, left, pronated. Wrist, right is extended and left is in neutral. Fingers, flexed around the club. Trunk, rotation to the right. Hip, right, external rotation. Left, slight internal rotation. Knees, right is flexed and left is flexed. Ankle, 15 degrees of plantar flexion. Contact phase. Begin by bringing your club forward towards the ball in the same arc you used for your backswing, beginning with your hands. As you are coming through the ball, your weight should shift to your front foot. During the downswing, you want to keep the proximal part of your back arm by your side. This phase is just the reversal of the backswing phase. When you make contact with the ball, your body should be in the exact same position as the stance phase. Head and neck, slight flexion. Shoulder girdle, right abduction, left adduction. Shoulder, right internal rotation and horizontal adduction. Left external rotation and horizontal abduction. Elbow, right is an extension, left extension. Forearm, right, pronate back to neutral, left, supinate back to neutral. Wrists, right, flexion and left extension. Fingers, all fingers will be flexed around the club. Trunk, rotation back to neutral. Hips, right, internally rotate back to neutral. Left, externally rotate back to neutral. Knees, both are flexed. Ankle, right, subtalar neutral and left, plantar flexion. Follow-through phase. After making contact, continue the arc motion of the club, with the head of the club going towards your target. The arc pattern should continue all the way until the club head has reached your back shoulder. During the follow-through, act like you are squishing a bug with your toes of your back leg. As you come forward, your hips should rotate towards the target and you should finish with your belly button pointing towards the target. While coming through, you should be bending your front elbow while straightening your back one. Your back arm should end up across your chest, parallel to the ground, and your front arm should end in the frontal plane, abducted about 15 degrees. Keep your head down until halfway past contact, then rise up and watch your ball. Head and neck, slight flexion. Shoulder girdle, right, adduction, left, abduction. Shoulder, right, external rotation and horizontal abduction. Left, internal rotation and horizontal adduction. Elbow, right, is extended and left is flexed. Forearm, right, pronate, left, supinate. Wrists, right, flexion, left, extension. Fingers, all fingers will be flexed around the club. Trunk, rotation. Hips, left, externally rotate, and right, internally rotate. Knees, right, flexed, and left is extended. Ankles, right, plantar flexion, and left, inversion. Return to stance. Reverse the follow-through phase.
Go.